Alright, here in page 486, the question is to solve for A, which we're trying to get angle A alone. In order to do that, however, we need to do cosine negative on both sides. So if you divide by cosine, both sides, that's going to be measure of angle A is equal to cosine negative 1 of 0.33. And in order to find that, you're going to need a calculator. So you go over here, you go second cosine negative 1. Wait, first you check the mode if it's in degree. It's on degree? Okay, good. Now we do second cosine, and then you insert the decimal, 0.33. And that shall give us our answer. Measure of angle A is equal to 70.73 degrees, because it's an angle. And now we have another problem. Now, this was number 23 on page 486. And now this one is number 27. And now this question is saying sine A is equal to 0.19. Again, same thing as we did with number 23, we have to solve for A. However, this time it's sine. You do the same method. You're trying to solve for this angle, A, right here. So you divide by sine, both sides. That'll give us measure of angle A is equal to sine negative 1 of 0.19. Now, you're going to need a calculator for this. So, measure of angle A is equal to, let's put our calculator again, and second sine to get sine negative, and insert 0.19. And that shall give us 10.95 degrees. Now, last problem we're going to solve that's dealing with sine and cosine and tangent is going to be number 31 on page 478. However, this question is asking us to find the perimeter. So just give me like 1 minute to draw the entire figure out so I can explain you guys how to solve it. This figure consists of 6 different triangles. Gotta draw it out. Now we're ready to begin. Now we're gonna write the givens, the measurements that are given to us in the question itself. So what we're given is that this is actually a right angle, and this angle right here is congruent to this angle over here. And now this side is congruent to this side, therefore making this whole entire triangle an isosceles triangle already. So we can conclude that these two angles are congruent. And now this is a right angle. This is 70 degrees. So this other angle must be 70 degrees since they're both congruent. And this entire thing is 1.2, which can be split up into 0.6 and 0.6. So 0.6 is the side length of this line right here. That's 70, and that's 70. And now, over here, we have that this side is actually in fact 1.5 centimeters. This side is congruent to this side, and this side is 1.5 centimeters as well, making this side 1.5 as well. And now this line right here, this line segment right here, is congruent to this line segment over here. We know that this angle is also 34 degrees. And now our mission is to find the perimeter. So we already have one entire side over here, 1.5. We have another side, 1.5. And now we gotta come over here and try to find these sides. If we're able to find one side, just by finding one side, we can already find the other side. So now, how are we gonna do this? Let's see. We know it's an isosceles triangle. And by the way, another quick way to know how to use sine, cosine, and tangent to memorize them is by the words so, ka, to, where S stands for sine, opposite over hypotenuse, C stands for cosine, which is adjacent over hypotenuse, and T stands for tangent, which is opposite over adjacent. That's a quick way to remember. So for this problem over here, we're trying to find the hypotenuse. So in order to do that, the one that contains hypotenuse is sine and cosine. But we only have this measurement right here. So we're going to be using cosine of 70, which means cosine of 70 is going to be the adjacent, which is this side, 0.6 over this hypotenuse. Let's name it x. So then 0.6 over x. And now, if we're trying to solve for x, we can simply just multiply x on both sides. That's going to give us x times cosine 70 is equal to 0.6. And now we divide the entire thing by cosine 70.